Hello YouTube! This is me, the student witch again, and I uploaded a pretty dense video earlier today, so this video is going to be a little more easygoing and just kind of my first haul video and just my plans for this evening right after I finish recording this, what I'm going to be doing. So, in the area where I'm at right now in Georgia, the availability of witchy items is very limited, I'm going to say. There's really two stores in town, well, two main stores in town where you can get witchy supplies. I would say overtly witchy supplies, because you can always find witchy things in unexpected places. One place is a store called Earth Fare. It's kind of a Whole Foodsy type of store. It is a chain, I think, and it's pretty expensive. But sometimes it's the only place in town where you can get hard to get items like certain herbs, like burdock root. It's the only place in town where you can get that. You can get smudge sticks, which is where I got these, essential oils, herbal medicines, things of that nature. I try to avoid it when I can, but sometimes I don't have a choice, because I try to go to local businesses if I can, but again, we only have one metaphysical shop in town, and it's pretty small, and its selection is kind of limited. But since it is the only metaphysical shop in town, it is the only place to get crystals. So, since most of my crystals are up in my apartment in Massachusetts, I had to buy some crystals for me and my husband to use. He's over there, but he doesn't want to be on camera. He's looking at me now. I had to buy some crystals for us to use over the summer to get through the summer. So, and this metaphysical shop that's in town, I love it. I love the owner. He's very talkative, very down to earth, but again, it is very limited. They do not, as far as crystals go, they don't have very many large items. Like this piece of amethyst is about as big as you're gonna get, which is, it's good for my needs right now. I do have my own piece of amethyst up in Massachusetts that I've bonded with pretty well, but this one jumped out. Actually, my husband picked it. It was the first one he saw, and he was like, I need that one. So he picked this one out, so I'm going to leave this with him so he can work with it when I go back up to Massachusetts in August. But like I said, this is about as big as you're going to get. But again, it serves my needs. It serves our needs. So this is the amethyst I got for, you know, opening up more spiritually, developing my spirituality more, and also for helping us sleep and have peaceful dreams, because we're both stressed out grad students. Sometimes it's hard to get sufficient sleep and get good quality sleep because you're constantly stressed and worrying about performing at a very high level. So this is going to help us sleep and also going to help us develop spiritually, you know, open that third eye kind of thing. I got each of us these, you know, protection from the evil eye bracelets. He has one that he's wearing right now, and I carry this with me in my purse because in the past year or so since I left for Massachusetts, I've actually had some rough situations with people in my life who were bringing in a little bit too much negativity. And when we think of the evil eye, at least in the Latin American and Spanish context, you know, the mal de ojo, it's a lot about jealousy, or people just sending you bad vibes in general. So I got each of us one of these, to protect us. You know, carry it around or wear it. I got the amethyst. I got this beautiful piece of rose quartz, some rough rose quartz, very pale pink. And I've been working with this lately. Today it actually helped relieve some back pain I was feeling due to, you know, menstrual cramps and whatnot. I've been using this rose quartz along with a pink candle that I keep lit in our bedroom for, I guess, kind of a feminine protection energies, healthy sexuality and whatnot, because that's how rose quartz speaks to me. You know, love and, you know, the physical act of love, an expression of love, and using that energy in a protective way. So I love this piece of rose quartz. She's beautiful. I also got, which I've mentioned this one before in other videos. It's a green aventurine, and I know it's used for prosperity, but I've also done a little bit of research, and the reason I got it was as an immune system booster, because when I get stressed out, my immune system just plummets, and it makes me very susceptible to getting sick, and I'm just tired of it. And also, I've noticed whenever I hold this close to this area, I can feel its effect in my sinus cavities, and it provides some temporary relief from my sinus pressure headaches that I get, which sometimes turn into ocular migraines, which are very painful and very annoying. So I'm hoping I can work with this stone and have it help me with those headaches to prevent migraines. I got a piece of Amazonite to help with communication because I'm pretty introverted, and so it's hard for me to sometimes speak my voice and give my opinion when I should speak up for myself. So this is going to help me with that. I got this beautiful piece of malachite, and see that deep green with, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, there's swirls and bands in it. I've had friends recommend malachite to me for its protective properties, so that's how I'm going to use it. I didn't immediately bond with the stone other than its appearance. I think it's a very attractive stone, but when I think of this stone in particular, I don't know about malachite as a whole, but this stone in particular, I think of the forest and kind of the deep living energy of an old forest and how it can be a protective energy. I don't know, that's just my weird association with it. So this is my old growth forest protective stone. That's how I think about malachite. If anybody has any recommendations as far as how to bond or use malachite, how to bond with or use malachite, I'd be happy to hear about it. And I got some black onyx to help, you know, transmute some negativity, especially stress and anxiety, and just for grounding, which is always good. And I really wanted a larger piece of smoky quartz because I think my intuition is telling me that it's a crystal that would work really well for me and also help with grounding and be very powerful. I would love a tower piece of smoky quartz, but unfortunately, like I said, this store is pretty limited. So this is about as big as a piece of smoky quartz that you're gonna get. It's still beautiful and it's still helpful, and I still really love this stone and I keep it in my purse with me, but I would really love like a big ass piece of it. I just feel drawn to smoky quartz for some reason right now. But live and learn. Another thing that we got at this store, because it's one of the few places that you can get this, is incense. And I'm not a big connoisseur of incense. I would love to someday learn how to make my own, and someday I will when I have more time and more resources. But I wanted to support this guy's local business because he is the only official metaphysical shop in town. It would be a shame if he had to close his business, because this is Georgia, you know, in the Bible Belt of the South. So I tried this forest incense, and it's very piney, and it's a very masculine kind of scent. Kind of reminds me of some old school masculine colognes, which I loved. And it's a very beautiful, powerful scent by Hem, the company. And then we also got some sandalwood, frankincense, and myrrh, and lavender. Just little packages. I think he had them for like $3 for $5 or something. And the frankincense and myrrh I love. I've always loved this scent, but this one in particular just smells exactly like the incense that they used to burn in the Catholic Church when I was growing up, which I loved. So even though I kind of have mixed feelings about Catholicism, I still have that like warm, fuzzy feeling whenever I smell this incense, which is interesting. What else? Oh, another place where you can get witchy things is, of course, some of the Mexican stores or the tiendas in town. I don't have easy access to a botanica. I would have to drive to Atlanta, and that's like a day-long commitment from where I am right now. But the tiendas in town have a pretty decent selection as far as candles go, and recently, I mean, I'm still a newbie, but I've been really attracted to working with candles. So I think in a previous video I've mentioned a money spell that I have back on the windowsill with a green candle going. I have a purple candle right here with me that I'm about to use because I'm going to make a sleepy time tincture, which is great. And purple for me reminds me of amethyst, and amethyst calms me down. So I always associate amethyst with restful sleep, beautiful, peaceful dreams, as well as spiritual opening. So the purple candle, I think of amethyst. So I always have a purple candle going to bring peace and tranquility, as well as spiritual openness to the house. And right now, my Guadalupe candle has run out, so I need to cleanse, dress, and bless, the 3-step program that I have for my candle work. So cleanse, my preferred method for cleansing candles is sage, burning, smudging. I also use sage to cleanse my crystals, but I also, before I use sage, I use sea salt to cleanse my crystals. But for candles, I cleanse with sage. I bless with the best quality oil we have in the house. Keep in mind we're both poor grad students. I do have, I don't know if you see on the marker board, I have some recipes that I've been working through in my head as far as making my own infusion oils. But for now, I use this fair trade, organic, raw, unrefined coconut oil, which I use daily on my body. I use it on my skin every day instead of a lotion. And I just take a little bit and I rub it into the candle. If I'm working with banishment, if I want the candle to help me get rid of negativity or protect me from someone or something, I always swipe it down and away. If I want the candle to help bring in blessings or money or whatever, I always rub it up towards me as I, as I say some sort of spell or prayer out loud, or put my intention into the candle as I'm rubbing it. And then, so cleanse, bless, and dress. So but to dress the candle, I use, let me see if I can find it. It should be here somewhere. Oh, I don't have it, or do I? Oh, here it is. It was hiding from me. Let me take a drink, hold on. I love beer. Okay, I use a homemade Florida water that I made. I actually brought this with me from Massachusetts. I made it about a month or two ago. So I put 3 drops, 3, 6, or 9. I use multiples of 3 because 3 just, it's a powerful number for me. So I put 3 drops of Florida water to cleanse and protect it. I also use it on myself. And it's homemade Florida water, by the way. And then I don't have it here with me, but I take dried rose petals as an offering and I sprinkle it on top. And I take pink Himalayan sea salt that someone gave me as a gift. So the rose petals I use to feed my spells. Like in the money jar, whenever I feel like it needs a little bit more energy, a little oomph, or if I want to show my appreciation because it's been working well, I put rose petals, dried rose petals into it, which I get at the Mexican tienda in town. So then the candle is ready, and I set my intention into it, I awaken it, and I light it, and there you go. So I get these candles at the tienda. So I have, to represent the sacred feminine on our altar, I have Guadalupe. To represent the sacred masculine, I have San Miguel, or Saint Michael the Archangel, because he's very protective energy for me and a very masculine energy. And red I always associate with masculinity for some reason. Virility, power. I explained before, purple, the light's kind of weird, but this is a purple candle, which I associate with amethyst, with tranquility, spirituality, peace, calm, energies. And then a green candle, for the money spell. The last time I went to the tienda, they had these on sale. It's just olive oil because a couple of the blessing oils that I plan to make involve olive oil, and I guess I'll make a video about that. But right now, my plan, after I get done with this video, my plan is to show my husband how to make a bedtime, sleepy time tincture. I brought one with me that I made in Massachusetts, and it's with chamomile, equal parts chamomile, dried lavender flowers, and a couple of pinches of dried rose petals. I used vodka as the base for this one, just plain old vodka, and it turned out beautifully, but for this new jar, this new tincture jar that I'm going to make and keep here with him so that he'll have it when I'm not here, I want to use bourbon, and being from Kentucky, I should be a connoisseur of bourbon, but I'm not because I'm an incredible lightweight. I'm a beer and wine kind of gal. I don't really drink hard liquor that often. I just can't handle it that often. But normally I get Maker's Mark if I am going to get bourbon because I love the taste, it's not too expensive, and I have some nostalgia connected to it because my parents live fairly close to the Maker's Mark distillery, and I've been there several times. But this time around, since it's a tincture, and I kind of wanted to go the cheap route to save some money, I just got some Jim Beam, it works. The chamomile and the lavender will make it taste better. So, I wanted to find organic rose petals, but we couldn't. The only dried rose petals that I've been able to find in town were at the tienda, but they weren't organic, and if it's something that I'm going to put in my body, I want to make sure it's the highest quality that I can afford. So instead of rose petals, we're going to put some peppermint in there. So I have my chamomile, peppermint, and lavender. So that is what we're about to do right now. We're going to make a sleepy time tincture with the bourbon. I'm going to continue to enjoy my adult beverage. And we're going to cleanse, bless, and dress a Guadalupe candle for our sacred feminine. So that was my first haul video, and thanks for watching. Blessed be.